Welcome to week 14, the final week of the evidence-based practice class. So, this last week, what you're going to be doing is looking forward to see how you can stay engaged in this topic. Now, throughout your entire careers, regardless of what avenue you find within nursing, you're always going to be participating in evidence-based practice, constantly seeing what's happening around you, how things change, how things continue to evolve, and what does that mean for your practice. Now, that's not just an automatic thing. It takes a little investing of time or a little being proactive to really stay up with how to best serve your patients or whatever population you're working with. So, for example, if you become an educator with your students, there's quite a few different ways to do this. And what you're going to be doing this week for the assignment is you're going to be choosing 3 of the bullet points, the dark bullet points, to address, and then the sub-bullet points under each of those 3. So you don't need to address all of these, but just choose the 3 that seem the most interesting to you. So, given your PICO question, but also this goes beyond the PICO question, where do you want to go professionally in your career? What is it that you want to be doing? Maybe you chose a PICO question that had to do with your current job, but you really have your eyes on this other prize and you really want to join this other aspect of nursing, whether it's shifting floors or shifting settings. One way to really prepare yourself for that, as well as to stay engaged with it throughout your time on that floor, is this extra step of digging into what we call the scholarship of it all. So this doesn't necessarily have to be related to your PICO question. This can be thinking more into your future as well, so your own professional development. Think of what you want to be doing, where you want to go in your life, and how these can apply. So one of the options is finding a professional organization. There's a lot of them out there, whether it's oncology nursing, whether it is, there's just so many, the Transcultural Nursing Society, if you're really interested in global health, or whatever the aspect is you're looking for, choose a professional organization that focuses on that aspect, that dream, that future nursing you, that you can start to follow. You do not have to join the organization. I would suggest that if you're ever even possibly interested, joining the organization goes much better now than it does later, because right now you can still get a student discount rate, which is usually significantly cheaper than a usual membership. So, once you choose an organization, whether you join it or not, I recommend joining it, then you can look and see, so which one did you select? How could affiliation with that group strengthen evidence? And how can you contribute to and or gain from the evidence associated with this source? So kind of think through what it means to be part of this professional organization. And what does that mean as far as evidence-based practice is concerned? Another option is a nursing journal. Now you may end up finding kind of a twofer. For example, you may find a professional organization that also has a journal that they put out there as well. That is acceptable as long as you make sure that you address these separately. So the nursing journal, which one did you select? How could the publications in the journal strengthen evidence? And then contributing to and gaining from the evidence associated with the source. So if you do choose a journal that has to do with an organization, the journal might be one of the ways up here in the professional organization section, might be one of the ways, but that's generally going to be a lot broader than just the journal. Whereas when you get to the journal, that's really narrowing in on what that journal has to offer in terms of research, in terms of opinion pieces and expert articles, that kind of thing. Another option is to find a conference. So there are conferences all around the place. There's also online conferences that are sometimes an option. You don't have to attend these conferences. You don't have to enroll. I strongly recommend it, just as you're starting to take over a bigger role than you have had in the past. It's great to start networking more and to start really expanding out into the nursing profession as a whole. So look to see what conferences are out there, and then add the contributions down below, so make sure you address each of those. Another one's a research team. There are research teams associated with some of the hospitals and other facilities around here. There are research teams online that are always looking for people to get involved and to help out, so look at that as an option. And then continuing education. Continuing education courses take a lot of different forms. There's some that are specifically done through some of those professional organizations that we looked at the very beginning, but there's also other options such as what's called MOOCs, which is multiple open online courseware. These are free classes that are offered from top universities all around the world. Johns Hopkins and Duke and other big name schools have information out there and have courses out there that you can take. One of the places you can look at those is Coursera. There's other options as well. That's just one example. But you can take these courses to increase your knowledge. Some of them even have continuing education hours you can get with them, or depending on which one you look at, if you choose to enroll in one, you can also get a certificate of completion. So let's say that you're in one job and you want to transition over to something that you're not familiar with. Let's say you're really looking at oncology nursing, you don't have much background in that. It does also help your resume and it helps your general understanding of the role to go in and maybe take a few classes that have to do with oncology, that have to do with lived experiences of cancer patients, all sorts of different things involved with that. So it's a way to strengthen you as a nurse for your own future. So you do need to choose 3 of these options. If you want to do more, you certainly can. But you need to make sure that for any and all of them, you are giving a specific citation and reference. So when you're typing up this little thing here, you need to make sure that you have your citation placed in there, and then the reference goes at the very end of the assignment on your reference page. But for each of these, for continuing education, research, conference, nursing journals, professional organizations, there's usually a website associated with it. And so it may be that what you're citing and what your reference is that website that just connects back. So that if you state that you are looking at a specific conference or continuing education opportunity, you need to make sure that that link is in there so that your instructor, your professor can go in and verify what that is. You are strongly encouraged to really dig in and use these as tools to build up you as the future nurse educator or future nurse leader or future nurse manager that you want to be. So this isn't just an assignment. It is worth 3 points, and I encourage you to do it even if your grade is already looking really solid at this point, because this is a way to invest into the future of you. And after all, that's kind of the point of education as a whole. And so this is the final assignment, and I hope that you have gotten quite a bit out of 4200 that you can use into the future. And best of luck with everything.